story written for CBS News used with permission. Two astronauts floated outside the International Space Station early Tuesday to replace one of the grapple fixtures on the end of the lab's robot arm, the first of two excursions over the next week to complete a complex overhaul that began with a pair of spacewalks last October. Floating in the station's Quest airlock, astronaut Mark Van Hey and crewmate Scott Tingle switched their spacesuits to battery power at 6:49 a.m. SGMT-5 to officially kick off a planned 6.5-hour spacewalk, the first of 2018 and the 206th since station assembly began in 1998. "Make us proud out there, we'll have hot chow when you get back," astronaut Joe Akaba radioed from inside the station. For identification, Van Hey, callsign Ev1, is wearing a spacesuit with red stripes and using helmet camera No. 18. Tingle, EV2, is wearing an unmarked suit and is using helmet cam 20. The goal of the spacewalk is to complete repairs on the station's Canadarm2 space crane, a 50-foot-long robot arm that can move end-over-end, inchworm fashion, from one mounting fixture to another to reach various work sites along the station's main power truss. Each end of the arm is equipped with a complex grapple fixture, known as a latching end effector, or LE, that uses motorized snares to lock onto anchor fittings and plug into power, data and video connectors. Arm anchor points are mounted on station modules and on a mobile base rail car that can carry the arm to work sites along the truss. With one latching end effector locked onto station structure at the mobile base, the LE on the far end can be used to move astronauts, station components and even visiting cargo ships from point to point. The arm was launched to the station aboard a space shuttle in 2001. Last October, astronauts replaced one aging grapple mechanism, LEA, and during Tuesday's outing, Van Hey and Tingle plan to replace LEB with a spare that was launched in 2009. The LE mechanism is roughly cylindrical, about 3 feet long and weighs, on Earth, about 450 pounds. "This is a complex mechanical package," said Tim Braithwaite, a Canadian Space Agency liaison officer at NASA. "This does all the hard work of grasping physical interfaces as the arm is reaching out, whether the arm is walking end-over-end around the space station or picking up DEXTRE, our two-armed robot, to do space station maintenance or catching free-flying cargo vehicles. This is where all of that work is taking place." Van Hey and Tingle will first set up the spare LE for removal from external stowage platform No. 2 and then astronaut Joseph Akaba, operating the robot arm from inside the station, will move the LEB end of the arm down to the spacewalkers. The degraded LEB mechanism will be unbolted and temporarily stowed. The spare unit then will be installed. During a spacewalk next Monday, Van Hey and Japanese astronaut Norishige Kanai will conduct a second spacewalk to mount the degraded LEB mechanism on a spare anchor fitting on the mobile base rail car. If all goes well, it will remain there for the life of the space station, used sparingly to hold components in place as required. The LEA mechanism that was removed last October and initially mounted on the mobile base system will be brought inside the space station. It will eventually be returned to Earth aboard a SpaceX Dragon cargo ship, refurbished and relaunched. Another spare LE currently is awaiting launch. "About 3 years ago, we started monitoring normal wear and tear in the arm," said Braithwaite. "This was in the end effector mechanism specifically, and this manifested as increasing motor currents going to those mechanisms. Engineers monitored the performance and spacewalking astronauts lubricated the internal snare mechanisms to reduce friction. That was done in 2 separate spacewalks back in 2015. Braithwaite said, "We saw a real improvement in the LE performance after that, and that bought us a couple of years. But then last year, we started more intensive planning, knowing we were going to replace both LEs. The first replacement we did last October. With the completion of Tuesday's spacewalk, Canadarm2 will have fresh hands and be ready to get about the business of the rest of the program," Braithwaite said. Worth noting, these original Canadarm2 LEs both comfortably exceeded their design expectation, lasted years longer than we thought they were going to. So we're really pleased with that. Tuesday's spacewalk is the 206th devoted to station assembly and maintenance since 1998, the first of up to 12 US and Russian EVAs planned for 2018, the third for Van Hey and the first for Tingle.